very wide starting line, a very fair course for these runners. Even though there's over 200 runners in this race, they have plenty of space and time to sort themselves out before they get to the first turn. So a very, very open, fair start for these runners here. They're up on the line. And we are underway with the boys 2018 IHSAA State Cross Country Championship. As they come towards us, we're about 400 meters into the race where we are situated. As they get closer to us, we'll start to get a picture of some of the individuals, but we really won't probably see much start to shake out until they get a few minutes into the race here. So you can see there the runners starting to stretch out just a little bit here. We're about 45 seconds in. That is Cole Hawker out front wearing an all-black jersey, so the Cathedral jersey is a little different. It looks like Caleb Futter in second, Brennan Butchie in third. Haskett 4. Reese Gibson in 6th, Hamlin in 7th, Meyer in 8th. Westview's got 3 in the top 25. Bloomington South looks positioned very well. Trying to find some Carmels on the outside. They're positioned okay. So it's hard to tell much right now, but Hawker is taking it. He's taking it out pretty quick here, and we're gonna kind of get an idea of what's going on here as the race goes.
Bloomington South looked, I mean, they really positioned well early. Now, I don't know if that's too hard or not too hard, but I'll tell you what, if you were a coach of that team, that's what you really would like to see.
Yeah, they're definitely giving themselves a shot to be in the mix here. Bloomington South looked, I mean, and they're easy to pick out because they're purple and white stripes, but they were in really good shape when they came past us here in the first 500-600 meters. Okay, so they are now down the hill heading toward the first turn. We're about 40 seconds away or so from the kilometer split, and Hawker is out front, and he is driving the race. This is a little bit surprising, not entirely, but I thought he might wait a little bit, but he is saying today's my day. I'm going. Yep, we got about a 10-15 meter lead or so already, and they're not even yet to the kilometer mark. So it looks like some of the other runners are just kind of staying in there. Butchie, Hamlin, kind of on the front of that chase pack. I believe that is Futter in second, but we didn't get a clear view when they came by, so we're just hoping we're correct on that. 242. I suggested that 235 to 240 might be a little quicker. He's 242, so that is very quick. And I know it's downhill. But still, that is very quick.
You can tell how aggressive that was because the second place runner, if that was Futter, it was obvious from the gun. He was trying to get right into Cole Hawker's back pocket, and he did for about 600 meters, but backed off that early in the race. That doesn't happen that often.
Now it's a little bizarre. It looks like, unless we're missing him, it looks like Hawker's kind of coming back to the group a little bit here. So perhaps he was just trying to stretch out and make sure he felt strong, but tactically, that he went out really quick, and then now he's kind of, the group is kind of coming back to him here on that back perimeter spot. It's hard to see on the screen, but Hawker is currently leading, and there's about 10 meters back, and we think it's Futter, Butchie, kind of in that 2, 3, 4 range. Haskett's in that mix. Okay, Haskett's in fourth there, looks like. But yeah, so Hawker stretched out early, and now he's kind of coming back. That's interesting early mile here. Yeah, they're going to be quick through the mile. There's no doubt about that. So we're almost 4.5 minutes in. The leaders are approaching the mile mark. Cole Hawker is leading. Looks like Butchie in second, Futter in third.
That's what you said, but Butchie would be, would not
He,
be afraid to
yeah,
go.
Butchie's not afraid to go with him. So you can see on the screen they're the mile, 4:39 at the mile. They're just slower than where he was. Yeah, much slower than he was at the K. So, yeah. So a little bit of pace changes here early, but Hawker is out front as we expected. Okay, so we're gonna try to get some data. We're seeing what you're seeing on the screen, and we have not been able to get any any team scores or individual scores up there. But it's about a 2-second lead. Hawker over. Looks like Butchie is kind of leading the charge to maintain contact. And there's a little bit of gap after Butchie there. Looks like Futter third, Haskett fourth. Then the group in the big group back starting in fifth. So it looks like it's Hawker and Butchie 1-2, and Butchie is being aggressive. And this is what we saw last week in New Haven Semi-State. He maybe the plan was last week to prepare for the effort it's going to take, and Butchie is right up there on his shoulder. He's right up there on their shoulder. We can start to see him a little bit as they're kind of coming into this inner loop. They're 2K at right under 6 minutes, 5:58. 5:58. So Hawker and Butchie. Futter is in third. Haskett is in fourth, and then Gibson is leading the chase pack behind there. Gabe Sanchez of Lowell was the runner we couldn't identify. Okay. Yep. So those are the PA announcer here is announcing all the names in that chase pack, and they're the exact names we would expected. But right now out front it is Hawker with about a 3-meter lead on Butchie. Butchie had gotten up on his shoulder, but then Hawker's made a little bit of a move here in the first inner loop. Futter and Haskett, but that group being led by Sanchez and Gibson is now going to look like they're going to reel. I mean, they're driving towards the front even. Like it's going to be 2 out front and then a chase pack here in a second, because that chase pack is about to catch Haskett, and Futter is not too far in front of them. But it continues to be Hawker and Butchie out front as they're approaching kind of the tip of that first inner loop. They're approximately halfway or almost halfway right now at this point in the race.
You have to really hand it to Brennan Butchie right here. I mean, who knows where he's going to finish in this race, but what a gutsy race. I don't know if he was maybe too aggressive and tried to pass Cole Hawker, and Hawker kind of was like, no. But I mean, you got to really hand it to Butchie right here. He has given it everything he's got. We're now halfway through this race already.
Yeah, and he's right in there. You can see on the screen he is right there in the red. So it's Cole Hawker in the black and Brennan Butchie and Mrs. Sinawa in the red. And maybe Butchie's mentality is, I've been a top 5 runner. I'm trying to win. And even if that, I mean, if he was trying to race for second, it would be a different strategy. But it looks like he's going for the win. You got to respect that.
Hawker hasn't really had anybody in his pocket all year, so it'll be interesting how Cole responds to that.
So it's still Futter in third, but the chase pack is about to pick him up. They've already picked up Haskett.
Futter third, as I was going to say.
Futter's in third, but it's Hawker and Butchie clear. Now the pack is basically with Futter. So and there's about a 40-meter lead between the front runners in that chase pack. So we can see in that chase pack, we got Sanchez, Gibson, Hamlin, Meyer. So we got all the names in that we expected. Now, in terms of team competition, we haven't seen or heard anything yet, so we're not quite sure where we're at there. And like we said, even if you look at the top 10 or 15 individuals, that's still not going to tell you much, because whoever wins a team state championship is going to be what happens basically between 30th and 60th place. And it's looking at the field out here, it's hard for us to tell. We'll get a better idea, obviously, as they come into that second inner loop and they come closer to where we are. But for right now, we can only really tell what's happening individually up front. Now they are past 3K already, and they're about to go to this second inner loop. And you can see on the screen they're kind of behind the spectators, but it's still Butchie right on Hawker. He's not letting him get away here in the middle of the race.
What a gutsy race Butchie's running so far. 9:09 through the 3K. That's legit.
So 9:09. So they're gonna be in kind of that 15, probably 15:10 to 15:25 range. Both the last Ks have been 3:11. They're certainly their last K. Whoever wins will probably have a stronger final K than what they're running right now. But they're now into that second inner loop, and you can see a little bit of a gap. You can start to see a little bit of a gap there between Hawker and Butchie. But we'll start to get a really good look here as they come down this hill, kind of to the bottom of this second inner loop. We'll start to really get to see. You can see on the screen there, and Butchie's form is just coming a little bit across his body. He's still racing very well. Carmel and Fisher's right now in 1 and 2, but it's too early and it's still too close really to figure out what's going on with the team scores. But as you can see on the screen there, it's still about an 8 to 10 meter lead. But Butchie is staying, but looks like Hawker's starting to open up here a little bit going into the second inner loop. Cathedral, Fishers, and Carmel at 3K, all within a handful of points. Very close team race here at 3K. So about a 3-second lead. So at 3K team-wise, the top 5 are Fishers, Cathedral, Carmel, Bloomington South, and Zionsville, and a pretty sizable gap after that. 8 seconds back to the chase pack. Futter, that is Sanchez, that's Gibson, that's Hamlin. Those are 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Quinn Gallagher in 7th of Guerin Catholic. Yep. That might be Ryan Rupert of Homestead. It's hard to tell, but if that's him, he's running the race of his life here today. Yeah, but Hawker's really starting to take control individually here. And Butchie's still running gutsy, but you can start to see now with probably about 3 to 3.5 minutes remaining that Hawker's really starting to dial it up. He wants to win his first state championship. He looks strong. He's finally got enough gap that if he can just drive from here on out, he's going to be in good shape. 4.5 second gap. Now you look back, it is Sanchez, Gibson, Futter.
12:18 at 4K. Gallagher's movement.
We're trying to identify individuals here. So Sanchez now up into 3rd place. Gabriel Sanchez of Lowell having a great race. Reese Gibson is in 4th. Those are both juniors, so as you start to think about next year's championship, both those guys are names to think about. Sanchez and Gibson running outstanding here. Ryan Rupert is way up front. Now Homestead senior. Okay, we are at 13:10, so we're about 2 minutes away from our individuals approaching the finish line. And it is still Cole Hawker of Cathedral, the senior, in the conversation as an all-time great, but yet to win an individual state championship. He might just be 2 minutes away from earning that distinction. Carmel just took the lead at 4K. Carmel boys now into the lead. It's a great team race. Fisher's in 3rd. Eight-second lead now. You got to imagine, unless something unusual happens, Cole Hawker is going to be your champion. But stranger things have happened on this finish line. It is a long stretch. It is brutal. You come past that last curve. You see the finish line, but it's still 500 meters away, and it can be a very difficult, painful stretch if you're struggling down the home stretch. But Cole Hawker of Cathedral is in control at the moment as we approach, as we can now see the Gator, the lead vehicle. We can now see Hawker coming around the last turn from our position. So Cole Hawker now into the last 400. Brendan Butchie still running in 2nd. Last we had was Sanchez of Lowell was in 3rd. So at the 4K, we had 20 points separating the top 3 teams, Carmel, Cathedral, and Fishers, only separated by 20 points. Who can finish? Whose 4-5 can get here? This is a great team race.
So much can happen in the last 300 meters of this race. It's going to happen here today.
Absolutely. So you can see on the screen from the backside there is Cole Hawker. You can see Brendan Butchie in second. Yep. And it looks like Gibson of Concordia. Looks like he's charging, trying to make a move up to second. No, that's Sanchez of Lowell. Sanchez in third. But here comes Cole Hawker. Cole Hawker is your 2018 state champion. And here comes Gabriel Sanchez of Lowell. Okay, so second here. That is Sanchez. Butchie is in third. Futter's in fourth. Gallagher fifth. Hamlin in sixth. Haskett in 7. Gibson is in 8th. Meyer in 9th. Perkins in 10th. There's Ian Shaw. There's Ryan Rupert. There's Mitchell Rons. There's Carmel's number 1. There's Wicker of Concordia in second. Fisher's 2. Fisher's 3. Carmel's 3. This is a great team race. Wow, there's so much happening here in the team race as they finish. And Carmel needs a 5th here. Wow, this is gonna we don't know the team score. There's Carmel's 5. Wow. What a great team race. So between wow. Fisher's got 5 in right after Carmel's 5. And I didn't see where Cathedral's 3, 4, 5 were, but they wore different uniforms. We couldn't pick out Cathedral as well as we could pick out Carmel and Fishers. But at 4K, Carmel, Cathedral, and Fishers were separated by 20 points. It looked like Carmel finished strong, but we didn't really get a good idea of where Cathedral finished with their different jerseys today. We do know Cathedral scored 1 point, and momentarily we hope to have our 2018 state champion, Cole Hawker, up here with us, and we'll do a quick interview with him. This will be his first individual state champion. So we're almost at 18 minutes. We still have individual team runners finishing here, but in terms of the team championship individuals, that's all done. But we do not know what those scores are going to be. Okay, so individually, Cole Hawker is going to be your state champion. He is heading up. We're going to do a quick interview with him here on screen. And for team scores, unless you have some inside source, you're going to have to wait like the rest of us till the podium presentation to find out who is your champion.
Concordia had 3 solid in that front 3. Now, we lost track of 4s and 5s in the giant, massive pack, but they may have had an inside track at the top.